Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Organically David here, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you for joining me on my journey as I strive to live organically and authentically in every way, not just from a physical perspective, but also from a mental health perspective as well. So again, as you know, this is the place to be for all things organic, all things holistic, and that's what we're talking about today when it comes to the mental health piece. Something that affects so many of us is childhood trauma. Our mental health suffers from our upbringings. And we're all products of our environment that we grew up in, our childhood. And I know that it may sound strong to say childhood trauma because you're like, I didn't have trauma. I wasn't physically abused or I wasn't even emotionally abused. But you may have been. Or understanding that just because you may not have had a significant form of abuse that was like a blatant issue, like you were punched in the face or you had someone telling you all these negative things in life, there still may be some remnants of actual childhood trauma, actual difficulties that caused you to change your trajectory in life. That's what I'm talking about today. Just to give a brief background history of myself. I'm actually writing a book, should be completed early next year, about my childhood trauma and how I've gotten to the place that I am now, how I've gotten to a place of healing. And I wanted to share some tips about how to move forward. But I would say that my life, I grew up in the 80s. I'm an 80s baby. An older millennial, I guess. I had more of a Gen X upbringing, meaning my parents were very hands off, free range. We knew the unwritten rules. You don't go past this stop sign. You don't eat at this house. People were very, the neighborhood we grew up in, people were very aware. I think during that time frame of the 80s, even into early 90s, I think people were more concerned for the well-being of each other. I think we looked out for each other more. If we saw kids outside doing something, you were told, stop doing that, this, that, whatever. And my parents weren't coming outside to fight that person for don't tell my kids anything, don't tell them ever, there was none of that existed. If anything, they were going to believe that adult over me anyway. And even sometimes when I would be angry about it, this person is lying, straight up lying. But it didn't matter because that's an adult. You were told, you respected your elders. But I think what happened with me in my upbringing, my parents were, like I said, very hands off. We were free range kids. We go outside all day. I don't think I have a son now, and there's no way I would let him do the same things that I did when I was a kid. Like just go outside and just be out there for 12 hours straight till I come back in the house. There's no way I would let the world is just too different now. The world is it's much more of an evil place. Evil always existed, but I think it's worse than it now. It's whether you have uh, there's no the friend groups, the kids are doing all this crazy stuff now, drugs and all this stuff. The time has changed. And then yeah, the police coming out. You see a kid, you barely see kids playing outside now. And then if you see a child go out there, now they're being hassled. What are you doing out here? What is happening? What is it? It's so you don't just keep him in the house. What I do is I take him outside, and he goes and plays and does all of it, whatever he does. First, I don't see a lot of kids out there. Second, I'm not a helicopter dad. I stand back. I let him play. I you know I stand back, let him do what he's going to do. But I'm out there though, and I'm paying attention. And but it's just the world that no longer exists, unfortunately. But my upbringing, I would say that there wasn't a lot of there was no love shown. It wasn't like I can just go up to like my son now. I'm all over him. I'm hugging him, I'm rocking him, even though he's getting really big now. uh, He's still that's still my son. That's still my baby boy, regardless. I don't care how big he gets. That's still my baby boy, and he's young now, but still, like I'm gonna embrace it as long as possible because right now he wants the love. And one day it's not going to be cool to hang around dad anymore. It's not going to be cool to hug and embrace your dad. He's going to be like, get off me. Stop doing that. Stop touching me. Stop hugging me. Stop, stop loving on me. Get away from me. I want to do something with my friends or whatever. It's no longer cool. So I know that day is going to come soon enough. So I'm embracing it now. The playing, the jumping, the rolling around, throwing them, and body slamming them and doing all that stuff, the rough housing and the play. I'm enjoying that now, and I'm enjoying it for as long as I possibly can until it's no longer cool anymore. But that didn't exist in my life. That there was none of that. That didn't. There was no. There's never a time ever that I wrestled and played and did any of that stuff with my dad. There's no connection there like that. But there's plenty of discipline though. There was plenty of discipline. You're going to get a beating. You're going for something. Oh, you spill water on the floor, you get a beating. You missed the bus, oh, you're getting a beating. Oh, you bring a bad report card home, oh, you're getting a beating. You're getting beaten for something. And so trust and believe. And what that created for me, I heard a great quote that said something like discipline without the relationship leads to rebellion. And I think that's very true. It created this place of didn't feel loved. There was no love. A lack of love is a dangerous place because it causes me, the person who's not feeling love as a child, to feel like you don't care about you don't learn how to care about yourself. The parents, your siblings, that immediate those people around you, those people develop your relationships later on in life and how you perceive the world and all of that. And because I didn't feel that type of love and those relationships and the I love yous and I'm proud of you and all that stuff, I can count to this day maybe on one hand how many times I heard I love you or I'm proud of you. One hand. And that's regardless of whatever happens in your life. I know that you're working hard. I know that you are pushing hard to get the family to a certain level and provide and all that stuff. I get all of that and I appreciate it. But at no point should you ever, as a child, feel like you're unloved. Stuff is all happening all around me. These woods back here. I think this mic is good enough to cut out all the noise that's going on back there, but as you can hear what's going on behind me, it sounds crazy right now. But anyway, uh, to feel unloved creates you want to find it somewhere else, and so that's how you get into gangs. That's how you get into drugs and alcohol and all that kind of stuff. I think about my parents. They're baby boomers, and they grew up in an environment where they didn't talk about their feelings. You don't talk about stuff. You just put it to the side. You don't talk about it. And then my parents, it felt like if I talked about it, that means, oh, you're just being sensitive or you're just this, that, insert whatever controlling statement to mask their embarrassment or their defensiveness comes from what about all the other things that I did for you? And I can still it can exist in the same place. I can still be grateful for those things that you did, but also unhappy with the other parts here. And that's one thing that I can definitely say that I didn't. There was no love in my and for me. I can only speak for myself. not so much for my siblings. I'm sure they share some of the same things, but we never felt like this unit, this team. Like, yeah, we're family. We're proud. We're proud to be in this family together. That's my brother. That's my sister. That's my mom, my dad. There was no really that connection there that it should have been. And I don't blame anyone. I'm not angry. I'm just talking about how I got to this point in my life. And I had to get to a place where of forgiveness and to move forward. And I think that happened right when I was like 25, when I got to a place where I just was like, I'm not letting this affect me anymore. I'm going to move forward, move past the past, and just focus on me, focus on bettering myself and improving myself. And I had to do a lot of reflection and have to break some of the generational curses that affected me in my life. And I think about my parents' generation, as baby boomers, their parents before them, they didn't talk about anything. They turned to substances. Both of my grandfathers were heavily impacted by alcohol, and I'm pretty sure that's what took them out of here earlier than they should have been. They could have lived much longer, but it was alcohol that was masking their traumas. And then it brought on to our parents, because my parents, they couldn't talk about things because it was seen as weak and soft to talk about anything, to feel anything. It was soft. You don't talk about it. You don't expose anything. So that just it continues through your generations. It just continues unless someone breaks it. And I'm breaking it with my son. I'm breaking it. My son, obviously, he's younger, but he's going to get to a stage where he's going to be able to tell me how he's feeling, if he's upset, if he needs a hug, he needs love. It's fine. That's not soft. It's not what all of that other stuff. You don't have to label it. You are who you are, and I will say that every time you hear me say it. To be who you are, do what you do, be who you are. Whatever it is that you do it. Whoever you are, be that. And be that unapologetically. Be authentic. And know that to be authentic can be in a place of causes you to be alone. And you have to recognize that even the toxic traits of being who you are is going to come with certain negative effects. Just know that. But I want to talk about some of the things that, and I was talking about this, and I actually am writing a book. I think I may have said that already. I'm writing a book, and it's coming out early next year, and where I go deeper into this stuff. But I wanted to talk about nurturing your healing, and how do you move forward. And bugs out here. How do you move forward from childhood trauma? And again, you may not consider something childhood trauma because it sounds like a really strong word, but it's any type of event that really leaves some lasting scars on your emotional well-being. But just remembering, it doesn't have to define your lives forever. With time, patience, self-compassion, it is possible to heal and move forward. So just in efforts of time, I just want to explore some steps that you can take to help nurture your healing journey and create a brighter future. The first thing you got to do is acknowledge and validate your feelings. Recognize that your feelings, your experiences, they are valid. Give yourself permission to feel and to express your emotions without judgment. Who cares what everybody else thinks? Just express without judgment. Seek support from trusted individuals who can provide a safe space for you to share your thoughts, your process, and help you process your feelings. And then, like I said earlier, seeking professional help. Consider reaching out to a qualified therapist, counselor that's experienced in childhood trauma, development, things like that. They can provide some guidance, some support, and some evidence-based therapies. And there's all kinds of cognitive behavioral therapy and all kinds of other stuff, mindfulness-based approaches. But a professional can really help you navigate the healing process and really develop some healthy coping strategies to help you through it. And they can provide you with that unbiased opinion. And then what's really hard is to practice self-care. Prioritize your self-care to nurture your overall well-being. Engage in some activities that bring you joy and happiness and relaxation and fulfillment. It can include anything like exercise, meditation, journaling, spending time in nature, pursuing my hobbies, or just connecting with supportive friends and family. But remember to take care of yourself. It's not selfish. I know that people may have made you feel selfish in the past, but taking care of yourself, it is essential for your healing. And goodness, challenge your negative beliefs. Childhood trauma can really shape your negative beliefs about yourself, about others, and the world around you. These beliefs, by challenging these beliefs, you seek evidence that contradicts them. Surround yourself with positive influences that really reinforce your self-worth and remind you of your strengths and your resilience to make it through whatever it is that you made it through. You made it through. And then remember the affirmations and the self-compassion practices. They can really help you reframe the negative self-talk. Every time you have a negative thought, address it with a positive. And then establishing boundaries, creating healthy boundaries is crucial for your well-being. Learn to identify and communicate your needs effectively. Surround yourself with people who respect your boundaries. And if they don't, kick them to the curb. I don't care if it's a family member, a parent, a child, whoever. Set boundaries and create a safe environment. It's okay to say no when something doesn't align with your values or makes you uncomfortable. It's okay to say no. Feel comfortable saying no to anyone, and then engage in healthy healing activities. There are healing modalities that resonate with you, such as whatever it is that resonates with you, such as like art, yoga, or mindful practices. Engage in creative activities where that can help express your emotions that are difficult to put into words. Additionally, practicing mindfulness can cultivate self-awareness and offer a sense of grounding during difficult moments. Cultivate supportive relationships, because the relationships are so important. You're going to need people. So nurture the connections with the people who provide empathy, understanding, and support. You may need to join a support group or online, offline, Instagram, whatever, a place where you can connect with others who have experienced similar challenges. Sharing your journey with others who can relate can be immensely healing. I'm telling you, you feel like you're not alone. I'm not crazy. And then embrace your journey. Remember that healing is a process and it takes time. Be gentle with yourself, and it takes a lot of time to break some of the routine. Celebrate even the smallest victories along the way. Embrace your journey as an opportunity for growth and self-discovery. Each step forward is really a testament to your resilience and your strength. As lastly is understanding that moving forward from your childhood and childhood trauma specifically is a courageous and really empowering journey. By acknowledging your experiences, seeking professional help, practicing self-care, challenging negative beliefs, establishing boundaries, which is so extremely important, engaging in healthy healing activities, not relying on substances, cultivating those supportive relationships, and really just embracing your journey can heal and create a brighter future. You are not defined by your past, and there is hope for a life filled with joy, with love, and fulfillment. If you don't remember anything else, I always say, do what you do, be who you are. Let's love life and remember to live your best life. And hopefully, your best life means that you're living life organically.